evening, everyone. Welcome to our Young Boss Forum 2020. Woo! Okay, a quick introduction about myself. Entrepreneurship for me started, when I was 21 years old, and subsequently when I entered NUS, when I'm 24, I went for a 1-year entrepreneurship program in New York City and actually founded another business there. And I used to work as a tax accountant before. Right now, I'm full-time entrepreneur at 27. I'm your host, and I'm Wei Lun, and I'll be your host for tonight. Woo! Okay, today we have lined up for you 4 very inspiring and young entrepreneurs to share their perspective and their experience of owning their own business at a very young age. And we want to turn our attention to these 4 amazing young speakers and have them introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with the youngest speaker we have for tonight to introduce himself, and that is Ron.
Hi everyone. Hi, okay, 大家好. My name is Ron. I'm 21 this year. So I just completed my diploma in Temasek Poly Leisure Events Management, and I'm currently also running my own business and also serving the NS. So number need to say not? Phone number need to say? Don't need to say, right? Phone number don't need to say. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll continue from him. Hi everyone, I'm Clara. I'm 26 this year. So I'm currently working in an MNC, short form for multinational corporation, which focuses on social media as well as tech. Right. So since my university days in NUS, same as Wei Lun, I was actually I kept trying to look for opportunities, explore different kind of opportunities. So back then I was doing a freelance beauty, and right now I'm managing my own side gig that specializes in beauty as well as fitness.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Pei and I am 30 and yeah, I'm the eldest. Yeah. Okay. And I have been in the banking industry for half a decade until I started my own business. And currently I'm working in SME in order to complement my current business.
Hello， 大家好，我是惠仪琪，我今年29岁，我的专业在 Food Science and Nutrition， 目前呢在食品公司呢担任高级质量执行人员，然后我现在呢就是有一边同时在创业，然后我是创业在有关于营养还有美容的领域，谢谢。
Okay, thank you. And you know what exactly is this forum about? Well, today our speakers, despite their young age, they're embarking on an entrepreneurship journey and are already very successful. And we want to tap on, really their experience for them to share their views in taking this path. And we hope today everybody can walk away with different perspective about 3 main topics that we want to discuss. And as this is like a live forum, please type in the chat box. And as and when you have questions you want to raise, you type it in, we will pick it up, okay? And also don't forget that, you are most welcome to invite any of your friends who's keen to explore entrepreneurship to this forum. Feel free to invite them as we move along. And firstly, I want to start, but really by asking and throwing a question for you guys to think, is there like an ideal age or an optimal age that you think about when you think of entrepreneurship? Really, don't forget, Colonel Sanders, they started KFC when he was only 65. But on the other end of the spectrum, Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook when he was 19. And so keep that thought with you. And I want to ask, firstly, our youngest speaker today, Ron, what does young entrepreneurship mean to you?
Okay, actually, I believe young to me, right? I mean, everyone knows, right? Everyone here is young also. So young to me means energy. I believe everyone here, we have a lot of energy, and I from the response I get from everyone else, I believe we're all very powerful as well. So young actually means powerful and energy to me. So entrepreneurship, on the other hand, actually sounds more down to earth, sounds more stable, sounds more mature. So actually, to me, right, both words don't usually come together because, the young people will be busy living in their life, living in the moment. We all like to have fun. We have a lot of energy. We like to do things that we like to do. However, not wanting to have responsible for anything, not wanting to be responsible for anything. So actually, since young, I've seen my dad run his own business, and I see that it's really not very easy because he used to run a roast beef supplying company. So when you run a company, every single day, you have to wake up at 3 a.m. Just to start the factory going. Because, in the morning, right, they like to have their sao. It's all very, very early one. It's very, very oily. And I think I remember once he bring me to his factory before, and I think, wow, I tell him, Daddy, 很臭, 很油, 很臭, I don't want to be there anymore.
Sao business, is it?
Yeah, it's sao business. It's a roast beef supplying. So ever since then, my impression of entrepreneurship is like, wow, it's for the old people lah. It's not usually for me. So however, now, right, actually I kind of changed my point of view because I realized that actually if I'm able to have my business at a young age, I can actually do a lot of things. I mean, if compared to a 9-to-5 job, because I've been on internship as well, because Temasek Poly offer internship. So I've been on internship as well. So after internship, I realized 9 job sitting on the table is really not my thing. So I really cannot. So I really prefer entrepreneurship compared to a 9-to-5 job.
哇，我觉得 Ron 讲的东西呢，我非常有共鸣，因为我家里呢也是有家族生意。从小呢我就看着我爸爸创业啊，就是开始做小小的生意。爸爸是做家纺的生意，就是可能就是被单啊、床单这一些。然后我就看到他创业，我觉得很辛苦很难啊，因为我觉得我爸爸很厉害，可是我就没有这样子的一个本事。所以呢，大家都知道呢，华人做生意是怎样，就是几乎都不太会休息，对吗？如果可以做的话，都会继续做。所以小时候我就看到说，哎，我假期呢就有 public holiday， 对吗？有假期。然后我看到其他朋友的爸爸妈妈都会有假期，可是我就发现到我爸爸非常的忙，他都会选择呢在假期的时候还是会工作。然后我就想说，是不是工作会比较轻松呢？至少每个月底啊都可以拿到工资，然后没有太大的烦恼这样子。然后就因为这样，我就从小呢就觉得好好的读书，然后上大学，然后找到一份好的工作。然后就可以呢，就是这样子安安稳稳的啦。所以我从小呢就对创业有概念，可是我呢一刻呢都没有想过我自己要创业。直到毕业后呢，开始去到公司上班，然后开始知道说上班跟做生意原来有差别，因为有比较我才知道有差别。然后就看到上班下班每一天，然后回家。然后回到家呢，就是很 relax 的看电视 ，OK， 这样子的生活并不是不好，我觉得挺好的。只是后来呢，我开始 realize 到说呢，是不是要这样子上班下班回家30到40年，就这样子每天做同样的事情嘛？然后我就开始 realize 到为什么我爸爸还有我哥哥，我有2个哥哥都是自己创业，都选择创业，然后就发现到。原来还有一个点是呢，原来上班需要去哪里都需要请假这些。然后我以前爸爸虽然每天很忙，可是如果家里需要他的时候，他是随时都可以出来，随时都可以陪我们去这里那里。只是没事的时候他都会选择工作，有事的时候呢，他怎样呢都会呢第一时间出来这样子。所以说呢，我就开始呢，慢慢的觉得，哎，原来我可以开始选择创业这样子。
Okay, so actually I'm hearing that there are a lot of drive and energy in the word young, but on the contrary, entrepreneurship seems to be more for the experience, the determined, the one that puts up a lot of failure. But also like what Hui Qi mentioned, there's a little bit more freedom in doing the things that you want to do. And I think I'm just thinking through, I myself have many friends, who are employed as well. And it seems that I think many are choosing employment over entrepreneurship, either because they feel perhaps they lack some requisites of being an entrepreneur, or they think that, or rather they have been told since young to get a good job. But I want to challenge this thinking that, if the reason you're employed is that of making money, then actually entrepreneurship can achieve that too. And at this point in time, I want to pass the baton over to Clara. And I understand that, Clara, you grew up in an environment where doing business is out of sight. So maybe you can elaborate and tell us a bit more about you and your background, and how did this thought of entrepreneurship actually get rooted in your mind? Clara?
Yeah, I think like what Wei Lu actually mentioned, entrepreneurship did not come to me like naturally. Like there's this saying in Chinese called 我们是环境的孩子. Right? Translated, it means you are the product of our environment. So my family members, my close relatives, my parents, they were not entrepreneurs. So I never had the thought that I will be actually doing entrepreneurship. But then with the proliferation of information like that can be shared through social media, internet, right? I realized that the perception and the perspective of entrepreneurship, right, for our current generation is very different from the previous generation. Like for example, the baby boomers. For example, I can give you 2 examples. like back in my schooling days, my senior, right, he's actually the co-founder of Carousell. And when he actually started
Wow.
Carousell, right, he was only 24 years old, right? And I think 24 years old is like maybe year 2, year 3 in uni. So he haven't even graduated at all, but he really started out Carousell. And right now he's like 30 under 30 Asia, right? Maybe something more familiar to the girls, Love Bonito, right? Love Bonito's co-founder, Rachel Lim, right? She actually started out Love Bonito as a blog shop when she was 22. I think, yeah, 22. So while she was studying, so it came to me, I realized that actually while I'm studying, I can be an entrepreneur. I don't have to go for the conventional thinking where, like what Wei Ling you mentioned, study hard first, get a good grade, you know, after that go find a good job, get some experience, and then get some capital, then you do your entrepreneurship. Like right now, like people are actually being entrepreneurs while they're even studying, right? So I think that especially right now, there's this thing called gig economy, GIG, gig economy. So basically it means like freelancing, temporary contracts, you know, or free market system. All right, like there's no 9 to 5. Like gig economy is very prevalent right now. And then with the advent and growth of this, right, actually many of us can be entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship is really evolving now.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Like you mentioned, you know, you maybe perhaps it got rooted in your mind because when you went to NUS, you realized that actually a lot of people around you are also, you know, doing their own businesses, coming up with things like running entrepreneurship. And how about Xiao Pei? You know, was it the same for you? Did you kind of have like a role model you saw that maybe changed your perception and thereby, you know, entrepreneurship get rooted in your mind?
Thank you, Willow, for asking me this question. But I think I'm one of those late bloomers where, because we see Ron, we see Hui Qi, we see Clara, that they started so young to realize this thing. But for me, it took me some time for me to realize that, like, oh, actually I can do this kind of business too. It took me along the years while I'm in the working force. Then I realized that, like, I think this is not something that I really want, because in fact, my parents are also entrepreneurs. However, when I was younger, I think most of the Indonesians, they are all doing business. So I'm Indonesian, so they are doing business, and then I am the kind that the youngest in the family. Then after that, we are just reaping their fruits. We are enjoying our time. I don't know that I can become an entrepreneur and everything. And in fact, even when a lot of my peers, they realize that, like, oh, I don't like my boss, I want to do my own business kind of thing. Then they start to realize that, okay, I can do business. But for me, I do not have such hardship during my my working time. I have nice boss. I have I'm not sure whether or not there are some people here also can have this kind of nice boss experience. Then I don't really realize that. I didn't realize that I can be my own boss. Yeah, then because everybody is so nice, I can have my monthly pay from the bank and everything. Then I thought that it is fine. It is I'm enjoying my free time, until I realized that when I go to work from 9 to 5, then when I start to find out about myself, about what I like to do, and I have so little time for me to spend to do the things that I really like. Yeah, I like to row dragon boats. Yeah, so in the end, it's like
Row dragon boat.
no time. Yeah, I'm dragon boat. Go dragon boat. I'm from Temasek also. I see a lot of people say a lot of Temasek. Yeah, go. Okay, Temasek dragon boat team. X dragon boat team. Yeah. Then after that, I think until I see a lot of these young people, they are so brave. They start their own business. Then I think it's not too late. Even though I'm 30, it's not too late for me to really build my own empire and be my own boss.
So it's kind of like why do it for someone else? Why don't do it for yourself?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Okay. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, Ron.
I've never ever thought of working for someone. You know, I very cheeky. You know, they say iron thief. Never thought of working for anyone before.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Okay. Okay. Actually, you know, I'm sure many people will be thinking. And I see a question from Cindy Ong. Thank you for asking that question, because she asked, you know, why do you guys want to do your business at such a young age? You already decide to be your own boss, right? So I think together with a lot of people, they'll be thinking, you know, what's the urgency to want to own your own business at a young age? Yeah, like what's the hurry, right?
Actually, I think for myself, right, a lot of people say very young. I think saying this might offend a lot of people over here, because I think although I'm the youngest here, still youngest here, and then I'm only 21. I myself, I don't feel that I'm actually young. You know, that's the biggest thing, because I think I'm offend a lot of people, but I mean, say sorry. I mean, everyone is young here. Everyone is 18 years old. But I don't feel young, because I realize that actually I have a lot of dreams and to achieve a lot of things by 25 and very young. Because once I heard this saying, it says that when something loses its sense of urgency, it loses its value as well. So I think a lot of times whereby young people like myself, we are always enjoying the moment. But I believe if today I have if today I'm able to start early, there's nothing to lose, right? There's nothing to lose.
Yeah, actually I agree with Ron. You know, like this thing called young, this thing called youth. Like I'm sure a lot of people on the call, right? You are like young, like you are like early 30s or like 20s, or I guess some of you are like 19, 18, or even 17 is over here.
We should take a poll.
Let's not do that.
How old are you?
Yeah, so like imagine like what Ron said, imagine all of us are 18 years old right now, right? We will naturally have the tendency to think that we have a lot of time to waste, right? And it's very tempting to just let this time pass. Okay, but then just imagine, let's say we're all 18 years old, we're gonna follow like everybody outside. So we're gonna slowly study, and then afterwards at 24, maybe you graduate, and then afterwards maybe get a job, like maybe a fresh grad job say like 3K. I think 3K for a fresh grad sounds not too bad, you know. But then right, let's fast forward it again, right? At 30 years old. At 30 years old, right? I mean, if we are like not earning 5 to 6K, actually honestly, 5 to 6K at 30 years old might not even be enough, you know. You know why? Because at 30 years old, right, what is most of our friends trying to do? They're either trying to get married or they're trying to buy house. Let's talk about marriage first, right? Let's say like, I realize our generation, right, we want things to be very pretty, very lavish, very memorable. So they will try to like have very nice local photo shoot, or some even go overseas to do photo shoot, right? And then after that, banquet, like best market hotel, and hotel more branded better, right? And then afterwards, right, all these add up together is maybe about 30K. Okay, that is just wedding. Then after that, you talk about buying house. I think in the near future, maybe buying a house, maybe cheapest $300,000. So imagine if I'm 30 years old and I have a pay of $3,000 and I have to manage costs like $30,000 and $300,000. I think I'll be very stressed, very, very pressurizing for me. So I think like right, so I think like youth, right, is really an asset, right? But we have to like leverage on it, because like I'm very amazed with Ron, because like how I wish I'm at his age, and then I have such perception and such perspective about entrepreneurship. Like the thing is that once you realize the urgency, because you can let time just pass, but once you realize the urgency, actually maybe by then you're not young anymore. And then the scariest thing is time cannot go backwards. So I really agree with Ron that he said that if something right loses its urgency, right, you'll lose its value. So youth is an asset. Don't waste it, you know? Yeah.
哇，我看到 Ron 跟 Clara 都讲他不年轻，这样子我跟他们比较的话，因为我比他们大呢，所以我觉得
我还比你大。
很简单的一个概念呢，就是相信大家都知道嘛，就是 high risk high return， 就是高风险就会有高回报嘛，对吗？所以说，如果一个人如果不肯努力的话，不肯付出的话，这样他自然而然就会得到很少嘛，对不对？如果肯努力的话，当然是会得到比较多。所以年轻是一个很好开始的，年轻开始比别人早，这样子比别人当然是也是要付出才能可以做得更好嘛。可是当开始的早了过后呢，如果我们可以更早的跳出 rat race out 的 rat race， 这样子的话，我们是不是有更多的时间可以去做自己喜欢做的东西啊，可以去玩啊，对吗？所以说，就像Ron讲的，其实真的是 there's nothing to lose， 早开始怎样都比迟开始还来得慢。我只希望我在他们这样子的年龄的时候就有这样子的想法。
Okay, Ron, actually, I think earlier you talked about, you know, having a goal and a dream. And then I actually saw this question posted. Where was the dream? Oh, by J.A. Ong. You know, he asked, you know, how do you convince a non-dreamer to become a dreamer? But hold on, don't answer first. And then you know, I think there's a question by Carissa Rochelle as well. You know, is it starting young is a good start to a freelance or a business? I think maybe that part we get Clara to elaborate a little bit more, because I think she touched a little bit about it on, you know, starting young is really definitely an advantage, because, you know, when you reach 30, there's all these things about, you know, marriage, buying a house, or a lot of commitments come in, and starting young, there's nothing much that you can lose yet. And like what she said, you know, youth is an asset and don't waste it, right?
Correct.
So, and okay, I'll touch on the next question later. So maybe Ron, you want to address the part first?
Sure.
How do you
I
convince
think
a non-dreamer to become a dreamer?
Actually, I believe we are all in Singapore. I mean, very frankly, we all brought up the most likely the same way, and I think we are all very used to the very mundane life. Actually, once I heard this phrase before. Actually, they say a lot of people nowadays, they die at 25 years old, but they only bury themselves, or not bury themselves, they only get buried at 80 years old. What does it mean? A lot of people question, why die at 25? Because a lot of times, due to the mundane life that we have, due to a lot of problems, and realize that actually our days is every day is passing by the same thing. I think especially now during the circuit breaker, everyone can feel it even more, right? Every day is very mundane. Every day is the same old thing. Okay, every day we wake up, brush teeth, and then go to work, and then go to sleep, and then go to work, and then go to sleep. Every day is very mundane. So why I say people die at 25? Because usually at 25, we are already sucked in by the system. We are already waved by all this mundane life that we don't really have a lot of things to think about anymore. And we don't really have a lot of time to even dream and to even have any more ideas. I think why bury at 80 years old? Because 80 years old, then we really die. But at 25, you know, a lot of ourselves, a lot of our dreams, actually, we don't have to dream anymore. We don't usually have that kind of thing. So actually, I think for young people especially, and for everyone else here, for myself actually how I get into having entrepreneurship is that I think I'm exposed to a lot of people who are doing the business, and actually for myself, my dad as well. So I think when I expose myself to a lot of business related stuff, I tend to have more inspiration, and I realized that actually with all this inspiration, it led me to have a bigger goal in life. So I realized that with this goal, I'm willing to work forward to it. So I think this is actually how young people actually can get more inspiration from people around you. I think that's very, very important as well.
对对对，我太认同荣讲的东西了。是25岁毕业上班过后呢，很多人就是上下班的生活呢，就会让他没有了梦想，没有了朝气跟激情，所以呢，就会活得真的是很像呢，就是死去一样，可以这样讲。为什么？因为完全希望嘛，所以可是身体呢，到了80岁的时候呢，才被埋葬。为什么这样讲呢？因为我每天啊，就看到很多安弟安哥，对吗？他们呢，就是为了一大堆就是工作呢，就是为了要还一大堆的账单嘛，对吗？还有呢，每天呢担心柴米油盐酱醋茶这些东西，就连去一个菜市场呢买菜呢，都要跟那个安弟呢讨价还价，然后都要尝试就是跟他减价这样子。还有呢，就是可能很多呢，就是怎么说被生活压力到呢，就是可能就也很不开心。所以呢，我真的是不想跟他们一样。
Clara, you wanna answer that one about, you know, what's so good about, you know, starting young, or rather is it good to start your business or your own freelance business when you're young?
Yeah, sure, I can take that question. I think that question is also very similar to, I think Javier, he also asked, like, if you start your own business, you don't have capital, experience, and connection. I guess that is Carissa's concern. Like, maybe you start young, maybe you don't have, you might be worried that, oh, is it, if I don't have capital, I don't have experience, I don't have connection, should I start? Okay, so I think right now, right, there is, there's really many money-making opportunities out there right now. And with technology, it is made so much easier. Like, for example, let me bring back Love Bonito. Do you know that Love Bonito actually started out as Rachel Lim herself, right? She actually started out Love Bonito like with barely any capital. Okay, she started out as a $500 blog shop. But do you know, right, this $500, she had to borrow from her mom. Yeah, of course, I'm not trying to tell anybody on the call, go and borrow money from your parents, okay? Don't do that. Okay, But Rachel Lim herself, she was just an average girl like anybody else. She didn't have capital. She didn't have connections because of her family members are not entrepreneurs. The family members are actually employees as well. And no capital, no connections, no experience even. Right? But then look at where Love Bonito is right now. From a $500 block shop, right, it's now a regional business. Okay, maybe I think another example, maybe more relevant to those who are catching trends, right? There's this very popular cookie called Nasty Cookies or Nasty Cookies. Like Nasty Cookies itself is very interesting. It is opened by this 22-year-old. Right? She's only 22 years old. And do you know why she wanted to open Nasty Cookies? Because she just wants to raise funds to go Australia. So I think I can actually respond back to your first question. I think not Waylun, I think Jay Ong's first question. Is it like we need to be big dreamers, then we can actually do something or do entrepreneurship? Actually, not really. Because look at the founder for Nasty Cookies. She just wanted to earn extra money to go Australia. Like, or for example, Love Bonito owner, right? She actually just want to earn extra pocket money. Right? So I realized that I realized our generation, right, we all have a lot of wants. Like some of us want to travel, some of us want to do things that we like. So you don't have to have a big reason to do entrepreneurship. Actually, we all have things we want to do. Yeah. So I think starting young, starting without capital, experience, or even connection, right, is actually okay. Yeah.
Actually, I want to add on to what Clara had mentioned. It is because what she has said is really a very eye-opener. Maybe it is something that can really, how do I say, for someone that like, I'm not that old, but someone who have a small dream to start with, to see that actually it is possible for someone like us to start dreaming again. Because like just now you mentioned Nasty Cookie, right? Nasty Cookie, she's only 22 years old. She doesn't need anything. She doesn't need capital, connection, and what do you mention just now? Experience, yes, but that was actually required. That is only required if we are living in the past during my dad's time. Maybe I think that is about 40 years ago kind of timing. But right now, it is no longer important because that is the difference between 现在有那个 technology. 所以 even this Nasty Cookie lady, 22 years old, right? She doesn't need to have a lot of experience in cooking. She has the experience of making the cookie only. But she may not have the experience to do the big business. But she still can start from her connection with social media. Am I right? Social media, and then she can do a lot of marketing on her own. And then you mentioned connection. No, that is capital. And capital, cookie, I don't think we need to have a lot of capital. Only it's just some flour. I don't know the ingredients of cookies, but some flour, some chocolate and everything can start small and then start to market. Unlike the last olden times doing business, doing like my dad, she needs to have a shop. She needs to have a connection, and how she get the connection is have to go and knock door by door, and do you want to get this, kind of thing. And that is so the past. So now that we are in this, especially this CB period when the technology is so important, I think it is not impossible for everyone to have a business. So, but out of all these 3 points, I would like to highlight one point, which is the experience. I think everybody 有没有听过那个少走冤枉路啊? I think my own concern is connection and capital we can build up. But experience, I would rather to be able to find a template from someone who is really more seasoned in the entrepreneurship. So that I will not 走那个他们走错的路. So with this, a lot of people will call it mentorship. We have this mentor, he'll be able to teach us. I think that kind of business, we can look into it.
那说实在的在21世纪有很多的创业门槛呢，都是非常非常低的，就是大家不需要很多的资金也不需要很多的经验，还有经营的费用都可以开始了。就像大家非常熟悉的，就是网红YouTuber TikTok 这些或者是自己创造 apps 也可以。所以这些呢，全部呢都是很容易开始然后它也是可以赚钱只是可是它的差别在于呢，之前如果想要当明星的话呢，那个门槛很高 就是可能在新加坡就只是一台的媒体，所以进去的人呢就很难嘛。可是，一旦进去的话呢，他就很容易红。为什么？因为就很少啊，就是可能几个就很 focus。可是现在呢，要当YouTuber， 要拍 TikTok， 就随便什么人都可以拍耶，只要你现在想开始，几时都可以开始呀。所以就变得很多人呢开始用这方面去创，然后所以有很多台可以看的话，这样子竞争力就大了嘛，所以就未必可以红。即使呢，红的话呢，有些人可以在短短的时间内呢就可以很红了。可是问题是可以红多久呢？因为很快的就有竞争出来了嘛，很快的就会有更好看的片啊，然后大家都会去选择看啊，然后当然也是可以赚钱，可是这个钱呢，到底是可以赚多久呢？如果是不红的话，是不是已经不可以再赚这个钱啦？或是有些人很喜欢也是网卖，对吗？所以讲说，这样子如果是以拍片这样子的一个形式来赚钱的话呢，如果他是赚一阵子的话呢，这样子我们可以算它是一种创业吗？我们创业是不是应该可以持续的每天，然后可以 sustain 的呢？应该是 sustain 很的才算是吧。
Actually, I agree with Hui Qi. I think what Hui Qi mentioned is actually, I think because nowadays, we are all so easily available to internet, to everything, social media. So even scrolling through YouTube, 你们会看到actually there's advertisement like, "Hi, I'm Imran," or there's you want to get rich quick. some guy with a Lamborghini and they say, "Hey, do you want to join the program?" There's so many these kind of things, and then there's so many options available out there. I believe we are all not lacking options in this century, and especially this 21st century. There's so much things that we can do. So, however, I like to agree with Xiaopei's point that actually I hear what she mentioned about having not enough capital and connections. They're all actually able to be easily solved right now. But I think mainly is the experience. Because there's so many options, but what are the options available that really can achieve and really can help us, give us the success that we want? Actually, I heard this story before. So, I think you all got seen before 降龙十八掌. You know what 降龙十八掌, which is the 18 steps of martial arts. You know why nowadays there's no 降龙十八掌 anymore? There's no more this martial arts, because every time a master teaches the disciple, it will 收一招 to take care of himself. What if suddenly the disciple turn bad against him, and then he still have 一招 can 顶他? So you realize that actually in business world is the same thing, because not a lot of people are willing to teach us their experience, because I think it's very, very valuable. But I think very importantly, if there's a business whereby I think the experience doesn't matter, that's fantastic.
Okay. Well, I'm hearing a lot on what you guys are saying, but I want to understand your views. And actually, before that, there are a lot of questions that's posted on the chat. I want to really, I hear from Waylin, Presley, Jia Jin Hui, Wing, Curry, Peng Fei, Gabriella.
Wow.
Some of these questions we'll address it. We'll address it after during the Q&A session.
Sure.
Thank you for your questions. But if I'm thinking in the shoes of the audience, for anyone who is new or listening for the first time to you guys, what will you actually tell the young people, that entrepreneurship is an option too? Because I think we're trying to establish that, if it's all about money making, entrepreneurship, why is it also a viable option compared to, being employed in a job?
Actually, for myself, I believe we are living in this world whereby we are so exposed by technology. Everyone is exposed. We are bare naked in this entire world. So I realized that actually there's a lot of examples, successful examples that we can just copy from. Someone took a TikTok video like that. Someone took a YouTube video like that. We can just copy the content, and then actually it will soon, and then it will also be fantastic. But I think the main concern and my advice on my take on this, whereby if young people who want to consider entrepreneurship as an option, I would think that this phrase, nothing to lose, is very, very important. For myself, as an example, now I got no wife, no house, no car, got car, no kids, no burden. There's nothing.
Got car.
There's nothing to take care. Huh? Sorry?
You got car.
I got car. So there's nothing to take care of.
Wow.
There's no burden now. So if let's say one day I have already a wife, okay, I have kids, I have my house to have a lot of this 五指山 to press me down really, then I think okay, then entrepreneurship maybe have to think. But actually, even though it's like that, I still can, But I think now when you're younger, when now we are all so young, we are still available out there. I believe now is the best time to go and sprint, go and run, go and explore. I think there's so much things in this world. There's so much things that entrepreneurship can bring me, and I think that's very, very important. Now, nothing to lose. Can go try lah.
Anyone else?
我觉得呢，最重要的一点呢是看 opportunity cost。如果说要放弃工作然后去创业的话呢，这样年轻人呢肯定呢会比较年长的人的 opportunity cost 比较小，因为年长的可能有很多的 responsibility， 很多的责任要去扛，可是年轻人的话呢，责任会比较少。这样子当然说，创业呢并不一定呢就是要放弃自己的工作，其实创业呢可以一边工作一边创业，对，所以想说呢，如果年轻人能不能呢就是暂时先忍耐，就是用一个3到5年的时间，然后去放弃一点点娱乐时间就是还是可以啦，只是挤出那么一点点时间然后去经营呢，就是用心的经营，把自己的生意给做起来，这样子过后呢，可以更多的时间去做自己想做的事情，好不好呢？
Yeah, I agree with what Hui was mentioning. I think the idea of like using the first few years of like your youth, really work hard for it, and afterwards, right, you have a long period of time to go and enjoy. I think that's one good way to see. I think on top of that, I actually also want to share with the young people on the call, right, is that about chances. So the thing is that entrepreneurs, right, they control their business. Right? That's why they can create chances for themselves. But as an employee, right, my chances, right, are all managed and controlled by my company. I give you an analogy. Like for example, right, my hand become blue color. Okay, so for example, I have 2 fish bowls. Okay, please don't laugh at my blue hands. Okay, yeah, so I have 2 fish bowls. One is I am an employee. Okay, the other one I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, so both have fishes inside. Both have 5 fishes. Let's take fishes to represent opportunities. So if I'm an employee, right, I only can actually fight for the 5 opportunities that the company gives me. And I'm not even competing against myself, I have to compete against my colleague. I have to compete against maybe my supervisor who maybe wants that same role, or maybe even my manager. So all of us are fighting with that limited fishes that the company is giving us. But then if we talk about entrepreneurship, right, I can control the business, right? So actually, I can create my chances, which means instead of just having 5 fishes, right, I can actually add more fishes into my fish bowl. So maybe like 1 more fish, 2 more fishes, 3 fishes, and then end up, right, I have 8 fishes to play around with. So the whole idea is that actually when you are an employee, right, your chances are all controlled by your employer. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, right, your chances can actually be created by yourself.
Yeah, I really like Clara's analogy all the time. I always have to speak after her one. I really like her analogy. And then because on top of that, because for someone who is maybe someone soft like me, we don't really like to step on others people's head to go climb up the stairs. Climb up the what do you call it? Climb up the
corporate ladder.
Corporate ladder, correct. Who said that? Thank you. Okay, but other than that, I would like to add the opportunity cost if we were to choose employment instead of the entrepreneurship, is that because during employment, it is a stable and fixed income. However, if we were to do our own boss, being our own boss and entrepreneurship, we'll be able to have it is uncertain now, but there is an exponential income concept. You may, like how Clara mentioned about the fish, we can have more fish to eat. Yeah. Then in the end, it is still up to us whether or not we want to take up this adventure to make our life the best, like what we want. Right?
Actually, I add on to Xiao Pei's point. I think actually having to run your own business or even being an entrepreneur, I think just a good 2-3 years of really hard work and effort, and then make it really just 101% putting in this effort. And I think the focusing is very, very important. And then you can give back the 20 odd years or even 30 odd years of having to work for someone. Okay, actually to me, I don't really like to work for someone. I'd rather work for myself. But having this analogy, actually I want to share with you guys, actually entrepreneurship to me, versus employment, right? Actually, I give you guys a short story. So to me, right, actually entrepreneurship is more of fixing tech. And then a 9 to 5 jobs or being employment, right, is like fetching water. Okay, maybe you don't get an analogy at last. So let me explain. So 9 to 5 job is like what? That means every time when you got do, that means when you work, then we get the income. Once we stop working, definitely the boss is not going to give us any income, right? So I believe that's common for everyone. That's confirmed for one, because even if you leave the company, the boss definitely won't give us money, one. So that's one thing I know about employment. Then what do I know about entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship, I take it as fixing a tap. So with maybe like what Xiaopei mentioned, what Clara mentioned, what Hui Xi mentioned about the additional time, just the plus 1 time, the part time having to fix the tap. So I think fixing the tap, eventually you don't have to fetch water anymore because you already got a tap. So the tap will keep coming on, you know. So I think that's the best part. And I think compared both sides, I rather fix the tap, because fix the tap, I'm very lazy one, you know. I think a lot of us here very lazy, but we don't have the admin. So very lazy one, I rather fix the tap. So it's much faster, easier also.
Okay, I'll take it from here. Actually, you know, I think I'm hearing there are a lot of opportunities for the young, and actually a lot of things that, you know, perhaps the young can do with entrepreneurship now. But I want to go into, you know, the second, really the second part of the segment of this forum, that is, I want to借用, you know, just now Hui Yi, is it okay if we mute everyone?
不要讲。
Okay. Okay. So then, where was I? Okay, I want to use Hui Yi's question to actually lead on to the second part, because Hui actually asked, how do you actually not get distracted by your peers and persevere on what you are doing now? So actually, we want to ask the 4 speakers, you know, the mindset alone that you guys are talking about, perhaps it's not that enough for someone who is new to entrepreneurship or is exploring to kind of like just go ahead and do it, because many face challenges. They might be afraid, they might give up even before they succeed. So, you know, are you all not afraid of failing when you just started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost get on.
Yeah.
I thought someone might not be afraid, but okay, anyway. And so we want to get you all to share really, but you know, right now we want you to, you know, really talk about your experiences, what you guys face when you are going through this entrepreneurship path, especially when you're young, when you're just starting out, when, you know, when things are going tough, how do you manage to actually overcome them?
So I think, right, for my part, actually, like what everyone mentioned, everyone is afraid. I mean, cannot lie, I know everyone is afraid. So despite being afraid of failure, right, actually what I can say, right, is that you know just now what I mentioned, very key, which is very iron teeth. You know, young people like us, we don't like to listen to people's advice. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, even for older people as well. So we don't really like to listen to people's advice. So from what I say, actually, a lot of times I have to learn lessons from failing, because we don't listen to advice now. You know, we are young, we don't care, and everything also our way. Then after that, we really have to fall down already, scrape your knee. Oh, then realize that, oh, 这个会痛 you get what I'm trying to say. So a lot of times, I think last time when I was especially facing a lot of failure, I realized that I have to take it up and really learn from it. So after that, right, after a while, eventually I become no longer that afraid, you know, but I appreciate failure, because I get to learn a lot of things from failure. But then I also must listen to the elderly, because you get more experience from them. It's easier shortcut. Yeah, shortcut. Don't go and fall yourself. Scraping the knee quite pain one.
对，跟荣一样我其实很怕失败，我很怕丢脸。我觉得认识我的人都知道，我其实很怕拍谁的一个人。可是我觉得呢，好像这种很怕自己失败的这样子的一个概念哦，多少跟我们的教育系统有影响。因为什么？因为大家都知道嘛，就是在考试的时候啊，我们就是以对多少题来去决定那个分数嘛，对不对？所以从小到大呢，我们的教育呢就告诉我们不可以犯错，犯错的话。
其实你们知道，我们 这里有一个状元哦，然后他是从小到大考试都是straight A's 的，
哇，
Oh wow.
从小到大考试都是 straight A's 的。
Wow.
慧琪可以 continue。
OK，你这样讲我不知道我拍谁要接下去 OK， 所以可是我就想讲的就是，其实我觉得这个考到比较好的成绩，其实反而害了我哎，为什么这样？因为影响了我的价值观。知道为什么吗？因为考试就已经有这样子的习惯了，就是不可以犯错，不可以犯错，然后一犯错呢就会觉得很害怕。是到长大了以后，就是去上班了嘛。上班了过后呢，其实在工作上呢，让我知道，其实呢，应该要从错误中学习，要从失败中学习，然后再慢慢的成长，然后就是这样子的一个概念啊，就是要逼自己去接受这样子的概念，然后接受呢，就是失败是成功之母。
Yeah, I think you know the idea about failure, right? Like there's some, you know, you okay. The thing is, you can be afraid of failure, and that's why you don't try, right? But the interesting thing is that you are afraid, so you don't try. You don't try, then you won't fail, ma. But it doesn't mean you're successful, you know. Yeah, I repeat my point, you know, we can be afraid until we don't try. But not trying and not failing doesn't mean we are successful. So I like Hui Qi example just now. Like, you know, actually there's two ways to look at being afraid of failure. There are some people, right, who are so afraid of failure. Let's take studying. There are some people who are so afraid to fail the exams, right, that they really work very hard to study. They really make things work until they really score their A's, right? But there's this other group of people they're so afraid to fail, right? They don't even do anything. So I think it's okay to be afraid to fail, but it's not okay that you're afraid to fail until you don't even try.
Okay. Actually, I want to move it a little bit more to really the experiences you guys went through, right? What is so tough and what's so tough that you guys faced during the business, and then but you still managed to overcome it. And how do you overcome this difficulty when starting your business when you are young?
I think I will children on that first, because I think our Ron have mentioned that like, we are lazy, we don't dare to say. I dare to say I'm someone who is really very lazy one. I since young really like pee, then very lazy, just laze around. As I said, I'm like reaping the fruits of my parents. So you know how lazy I am already. But that was the past, so I don't think that is don't label me that way right now. So, okay. So first thing first, I think everybody have different difficulties. For myself, my greatest difficulties is self-discipline. It's really self-discipline, because for someone lazy, and we tend to procrastinate, and then for someone who is doing business, we will need to have a lot of innovation and a lot of creativity to make our things fresh. Our business promotion or what, all have to remain fresh. So we have always to be on the ball on the things that we do. Then we have to keep on putting in more new promotions and all kind of things. And so if we procrastinate, then we become so lazy that when things got slack, then it become it is a hazard towards doing business. So, but okay, but not all the time that I will be procrastinating. There will be some day when I decided to be very hardworking, and then we will like work very, very, very hard. We work very hard to ensure that we do not slack. And we put in a lot of effort. I put in a lot of effort on the things that I really want to do. I put so much effort, so much time, so much no sleep and everything. But when a few times when I try and then I fail, I fall, I scrape my knee, then it will really become very demoralizing. That is my thing, because I don't start with a very high confidence. I have very low confidence. I have stage fright kind of thing. Then yes, I have stage fright. Okay, I have stage fright.
Wow.
Then in the end, thank you. Then where was I? I flew after you all. Okay, then oh yeah, then after I fall, then after that it becomes so demoralizing. Then a lot of times, I don't know whether you guys have this kind of feeling, when once we fall bad, then we will feel like do we really need to do this or not? 需要这样辛苦做什么？ A lot of people tell us, right? Like 这样辛苦做什么？你不是好好上班咯？ I think I usually get this a lot from someone older than me lah, much older than me, my elder sisters, brothers, cousins. They say, 这样辛苦做什么？
How do you overcome that? How do you overcome that?
When I feel, I will always, in my current business, I have a team people. I have a lot of team, not a lot of team. I have a team with a lot of different people. So I have a team dynamic. I have older people, younger people. Younger people help me boost my positivity. Older people advise me that things will go wrong, but it doesn't mean that it will go wrong all the way. So I think eventually when we want to do a business, we still need to have this kind of team to be able to support us.
Actually, I agree with what Xiaopei mentioned. I think partners with the same value and the same direction is very hard to find, because especially in a lot of businesses, I think if we have the same value for a lot of people, when you want to do business with people, actually it's not very easy to find with the same value, the same mindset, and the same goal, So I think what Xiaopei mentioned, actually, really finding the people, the team dynamic is very, very important, I think. So I think to me, right, the more important and the biggest obstacle I face is actually just now what a lot of people mentioned, which is having too much opportunities in result, not being able to focus on one particular thing. So what I'm trying to say, I think a lot of times, I myself actually have tried, I think a lot of common business out there, drop shipping, I think you tried being an online seller, you sell a lot of things, we do a lot of things. There's a lot of opportunities for us to even try, like we always say, 很多东西都想沾手, you want touch a bit here, touch a bit there, touch a bit here, touch a bit there. So a lot of times, I think the mentality for a lot of people when they try all these businesses is that we always think that we are the smarter one. Despite so many people selling, maybe selling the car holder or even cup holder on Carousell, then we will try again. Why? Because we think that, okay, maybe that person missed out some point. Maybe that person never do this one. That's why they're not successful. Then I'll go and try again, So there's a lot of things I'll go and try. I'll touch everything. Make sure that I try everything before. But then in the end, I realized that it came back to bite me, Why? Because I realized that when there's so many things to juggle on, I believe that there's so many things to juggle on, I'm not able to focus. So actually what I heard from a lot of mentors is say that actually to be able to focus on one particular thing, to gain momentum, so that you break through. Because I think a lot of things are very hard to break through, especially when we want to be an entrepreneur. We want to break through into the market. We want to break through into the new customers, break through into new businesses out there. We need to gain momentum. So the only way to gain momentum, what I learned from them is actually to be really, really very focused on something. So when I really gain momentum, then when I break through, then I go and think of something else. Actually sometimes they got this, the spinning plates. You got see before, like those juggling, and then they spin plates. So they make this plate spin already, then this one spin here. Then they spin this one already, then this one spin here. It takes time to focus on one thing, and then focus on it, then we move on. When it's done and when it's spinning, then we move on. So I think that's my biggest problem, because I'm not able to focus when earlier, we're not able to focus on a lot of things. So in the end, in the end you become jack of all trades but master of none. So I realize now that actually focus on one thing, make it the best out of it, then eventually I move on to the next thing that I can do. This is what I think.
对，专注真的很重要，因为年轻人我们很喜欢的就是看东看西，对不对？就很难真正的去专注。所以刚才其实讲说像创业，刚刚我们有讨论过了嘛，就好像资金什么问题，几乎好像都不是很大的问题。我觉得现在年轻人最大的问题在于自我的管理的问题。对，好像我呢，我觉得时间管理跟情绪管理是非常非常重要的。就是以前的我可能很喜欢去买 own shit 盘，就是东西可能就慢慢的做，然后没有什么样的 planning。可是自己创业了过后呢，我就发现到自我管理时间真的要非常的重要，自律也非常重要。因为网上有自律的人嘛，对吗？可是不是每个人都这么有自律，对吗？所以呢，就是可以稍微把拖延症呢给改掉的话呢，我觉得每一个人呢都可以变得非常的优秀。还有自我管理，就是那个情绪方面真的很重要。就像刚才我讲嘛，我其实有玻璃心就是很容易呢就会觉得很受伤，所以一开始的时候呢会常常觉得被人家讲会很伤心或者是害怕跟别人不一样因为人家就会讲说，就好像小佩讲嘛，就是人家讲说，你干嘛这么辛苦所 所以很多时候都是这些冷水啊，就是或者是这种温水也这样子泼过来啦，然后你是会伤心，所以我觉得说 dare to be different 很重要啊，就是那个心会想说，诶，既然我今天呢就已经决定要做好这件事情，就好像罗恩讲的，就是要 focus 要专注，然后做好这件事情的话呢，我就敢的要去做，好像我们又不是在做一些什么不好的事情啦，伤心害骗人没有，可是我在做这个是一件对我来说是很有意义的事情，所以就要告诉自己，就是管理好、整理好自己，然后就是勇敢的出发。
I think it's very interesting how Xiao Pei, Ron, and also Hui Qi, they're all sharing about like personal challenges. I think on top of that, which I really agree, like personal challenges, it's really a challenge to everybody. Like, but on top of that, right, these are all internal. I think there's also external challenges that we face as entrepreneurs. Like for example, like what Ron previously mentioned, right, that right now, right, there's so many money-making opportunities out there, right, like gig economy, gig economy, right? Yeah, so like there's this external challenge which I think is very real for anyone who's doing a business, which is competition. It is very, very competitive in the outside world, and this leads to another problem, which is sustenance, right? So I think like if let's say I have a lot of exposure to opportunities like or like that Grab food, that is online bakes and all, or let's say I own a blog shop, right? I think my fear is that how am I going to fight with all the big boys out there? Like for example, my blog shop fighting with large conglomerates like H&M, like Uniqlo, like G2000. You know, they have money to like, you know, like Rebear, you know, they can have money to spare. But I don't have money because I'm only opening my own small blog shop. And then right now, right, I think we're all very familiar, like there's COVID right now, right? So initially, like gig economy was really prospering. But do you know actually in Australia, right, they actually started this movement called I Lost My Gig. Right? And why am I saying this now? It's because this movement has actually spread into Singapore. And then it's actually an online forum. So all the freelancers, the entrepreneurs who are doing who are in the gig economy, right, they actually write inside that forum of how much income they have already lost. And do you know how much they already lost as of early April? It's $215 million. Wow. $215 million. That is a lot of money. So like, I mean, gig economy is not bad. Like it opens up the barriers of, I mean, it lowers the barrier of entry for anybody to be entrepreneur. But who knows that a pandemic like this can cause so much problem for even the gig economy. So I think competition and sustenance is also a real challenge for an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Clara, sorry. There's a question posted by Jia Jun. I think it's another Jia Jun. I think we have two Jia Juns here. But anyway, so he actually asked, how do you sustain the business? And so he said he heard that most businesses don't last over 2 to 3 years. Since you're on the point of, you know, sustaining the business.
Yeah, I think this is a really valid point. Like, I think previously Hui Qi also mentioned that I think with the lower barrier of entry right now, entering the field, the gameplay of entrepreneurship is okay. I mean, it's not difficult to actually enter, but to sustain a business is a whole other ball game altogether. And I believe that different economies, different entrepreneurship have different ways that they have to sustain. And I think a lot of times, like I mentioned earlier, why like even if I do like blog shop, why I can't sustain? Because I have competition against big players who have money to spare. I don't have the money to spare. So the point is that without capital, without connection, without experience, right, you can enter, but you want to sustain, right? If you don't have enough capital, experience, and connections, right, it's also a problem. So actually, like what Ron actually mentioned, right, actually partnership, being able to partner with a good partner that can actually help you work together to actually build the connection, build the capital, and also get the experience. So I think there's this other entrepreneur, I really forgot her name. She's also a Singaporean. So actually she's Love Bonito. I'm so sorry. Love Bonito co-founder.
Rachel.
Like yeah, anyway, this quote is from Love Bonito. But anyway, Yeah, anyway, Rachel Lim herself, right, she actually mentioned that she had no experience. So actually, do you know where her experience comes from? She actually said that reading is where she gets experience
Reading.
from.
Wow.
Yes. So the thing is that, I mean, you can gain experience through many ways. Like for us youngsters, we lack experience. We can actually find mentors, not the sweet mentors, but mentors, right? Yeah, mentors who are, but the thing is that even though there are mentors out there, I mean, let's say, for example, today I'm going to do like a blog shop. If today I can get Rachel Lim to teach me or everything, it's a higher chance for me to succeed, right?
True. Yeah.
Rachel Lim is not my friend. And why would she teach me? I will open a blog shop just beside her in Somerset, right? I think like mentors is they are very precious, but they're not easy to find, right? And also partners, they're precious but not easy to find. So I think it's very important to find a business where you can find mentors who are not only able to teach, but also willing to teach and also willing to share. If not, you can also read books. You can also watch masterclass. Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to build all this. Yeah, to try to sustain your business.
Basically similar to similar to what Xiao Pei mentioned a little bit earlier. There's 你就是走少一点冤枉路 yeah. 然后 I think if I can briefly touch about the problems is there's external and internal problems 然后就真的你战胜自己一次 is 胜过于你战胜别人100次 is about this whole thing about I hear a lot of discipline a lot of Xiao Pei discipline your innovation that the team that comes in is about fixing yourself and making sure that you are always in the right mindset to really overcome all these problems, right? So then okay at this point I think we have a lot more questions and I'll hop in as and when if it's appropriate, but I would really like everyone to really think about the things that we have went through and post any questions if you want on this forum. So now I want to go to the next and the last segment of this forum, and we want to touch on something that's very, very big and very, very real that's affecting everyone, which is the COVID-19, right? This situation, I think, is really crowned the pandemic of the century, and no one else has faced it before, meaning your dad, your elders, your bosses, your teachers, not even your best friends, and even top political leaders in the world are struggling and clueless on what to do. So as a very young entrepreneur, starting your own business, no matter how long you have already been in entrepreneurship, at this point in time, I think perhaps people have been, I think it's 39 days of circuit breaker or 40th, but people are cooped up in their house. They are facing this obstruction to their daily life, their jobs and their future. So how are you actually, managing this? What's your take on this whole COVID-19 situation?
Maybe I'll share my view from as an employee from an MNC. Like a lot of times, a lot of people would think that even in COVID-19, right? If I work in a big company, like in a big MNC, I won't be affected. But the truth is, if you have been following up with the news, a lot of MNCs are actually losing sales. Like I think you all have seen the news. Like for example, Airbnb. Airbnb just actually lay off 25% of their workforce. Okay. Not only Airbnb, right? There is also branded brands like Uber. Uber also laid off about 3,007, right? There's also Sephora, right? The beauty brand that a lot of people are familiar with. Sephora has also laid off about 3,000 of their employees. And this one is very interesting. There's Walt Disney, a company that I would love to work for. They actually temporarily lay off 43,000 employees. Wow. A lot of times, right, we would think like, oh no, I don't think I'm so sway, but one out of like 43,000 and what are the odds? And I think that the thing is that my generation, right, we are all always trying to aim to work in very branded companies, it sounds very rosy, it sounds very prestigious kind of career. But then the thing is that, right, as long as the company don't belong to us, overnight, right, this career that you have been like carrying around with you, it can vanish. So I think as long as the business don't belong to you, right, or don't belong to us, right, job security is always a worrying concern.
Yeah, I think I have to say something again right now because Clara is working in the MNC.
Right after Clara again.
Yeah, actually I noticed. But it's just nice, man. Clara is working in the MNC, big company, right? there's a lot of people. So even if they let off a 5-digit number, it is still got some people. But I work in the SME. I actually work in the SME that have less than 10 employees. During this period, I think that is a lot of exclamation mark. It is very alarming for me. So it is, I start to think, because you see, right now with the COVID-19, there is no new sales. Unlikely there will be any new sales. We are working in the petrol company. Everybody drive lah, but there's no new sales to sell the car. But anyway, that's next time. Then they have no new sales and and it is being reduced income. But there is a necessary cost that my boss still need to bear, which is the salary, our salary, and the rental, because we still have an office. So I don't know how long my boss will be able to tahan this. So I think I really, in fact, I should not be surprised if I will be laid off after this CBP. Or in fact, maybe by the rate like how Singapore is going, right, maybe the bosses may decide to close the business altogether. But it is not because they are going broke. It's because they may decide to cut the losses. They do not want to continue to make these losses and just cut everything altogether and keep their wealth.
哇，所以说无论是大公司还是小公司呢，我看老板呢都面对很大很大的危机。所以呢，我就在想其实在这段疫情当中，我一直在思考说，这样子我们年轻人是不是要闯出一片天因为老板大家都讲说，哇，老板可能都不可以做，然后员工打工可能也会面对裁员的问题，对吗？这样子我就想，我们年轻人年轻就是一个本钱嘛，但是我们不能用我们的青春换金钱嘛，对不对？所以我觉得我们不能等待，一定要主动出击，闯出自己的一片路我其实呢，本身呢，我就很佩服 Ron因为呢，他在这么年轻的时候他就可以呢，就是做创业成功他今年才21岁。我在想，我21岁的时候，我是到底在干嘛我应该只是在读书而已。可是呢，他竟然可以呢，已经成功了，对，而且呢，还在自己用自己赚的钱，还可以呢自己买车，然后还可以跟姐姐一起呢买车给他的父母。所以我就觉得说，哇，这样子的一个这么孝顺的孩子真的是我本身呢觉得我太佩服他了。
我去慧琪姐这样讲，我很拍谢嘞。I think 因为讲真的 ，I think everyone we all know that actually entrepreneurship is not easy. But actually, I'm not here to tell you guys that how good actually the company I'm working for is. I mean not how good it is, but actually more of the part that 它是一个 essential. It is an essential company. So what I realized that actually nowadays we are all stuck in this circuit breaker. Be it is MCO, because we have people from Malaysia as well, right? Be it the MCO, be it the circuit breaker, we are all stuck at home. We are all thinking. So 我自己本身讲 right, actually what I heard from Charles Darwin, okay, not he tell me but what I read from the books, right? You know what Charles Darwin mentioned before? He said that actually the species that will survive is not the strongest, it's not the most muscle one. It's also not the most intelligent, it's not the smartest one. But the species that is the most adaptable. The most adaptable, that means is able to adapt to any kind of situation. So despite this COVID-19 situation, I believe if we are able to adapt to it, if we are able to adapt to change, I believe that's a very, very important key to fight this COVID. Because I think for myself, right, I realized that actually this 疫情really this COVID-19, right, 它淘汰很多人. It's like a wave of tsunami. There's so many people kind of affected, you know. There's a lot of people, despite businesses. Just now I see someone mentioned that actually there's 8,000 over companies in Singapore itself already chopped up already. They already closed down already. So I think I'm quite grateful that actually the business I am, right, this M1 business is an essential business. And the fact that it's essential and it's still able to operate despite this COVID-19 situation, that means it's immune. So you see, actually, those businesses that Clara mentioned, okay, then now we got here Uber, then we got here all these, even Virgin Airline, all these were giants, you know, all these were thought as the indestructible. Uber is like the next big thing, the next Microsoft, you know, it was actually thought like that. But who will know that actually it's going bankrupt also? So what I realized that this COVID-19 situation tests two immunity, challenges our two immunity. So the first immunity is the health immunity. I think a lot of people right now, right, they're very scared to go doctor, right? Because you scared, at first you nothing one, then after you go doctor, you suddenly, hey, if anyone have anything, they'll come out also, right now. So the health immunity, if today slightly your body is a bit weaker, then you very easily go into the hospital already, because you very, very easy sick, right now. Then you realize that actually nowadays, there's this YouTuber called Sylvia, NOC, Night Owl Cinematics. You know, just by going to the hospital, Sylvia herself, she went to the hospital for 10 days, just 10 days, she spent over $10,000. So I think, wow, a lot of people are very scared already, especially. So this pandemic, right, really challenges our health immunity for the first thing. Then the second immunity challenges our financial immunity. Why? Because so many big companies already chopped up already. So that day they were still saying, if today after the MCO or after the circuit breaker, we still have to go and call our company. So ask, hey, company, are you still there or not? That means, hey, boss, our company is still there or not? Is it chopped up already, or is it told already, or have not? So we still have to go ask this kind of question. Why? Because we are not so sure that even our companies can stand this pandemic. So what I realized that actually, for myself, right, I think no matter what the business is, no matter what the opportunity is, I think if I'm able to grab hold on one opportunity that is able to be essential in this current situation, that means what? That means it's able to ride through the next pandemic as well. It's able to ride through this pandemic, that means it's able to ride through a financial crisis as well. Why I say that? Because, you know, in my business in Amway, right, I think the future, right, is all about, especially now upcoming, right, because now we are just a few more days, 14 days to the end of circuit breaker, and then MCO also around the same timing. So after this circuit breaker open, and after everyone come out already, so when this thing come out already, don't realize that there are a lot more people who needs opportunity. Needs opportunity, why? Because the company laid off, then there's a recession, a lot of people lose their jobs, lose their gig economy job, lose their full-time job, their part-time job. So there are a lot of people looking for opportunities. Oh, lucky. My business can accept them, then they can take them in, and then I can give them opportunity. The next thing, especially after this COVID-19 situation, the health immunity, when especially this COVID-19, right, a lot of people are very scared already. So after the COVID-19 situation, a lot of people will be looking to help strengthen their health, boost their immunity in terms of physically wise. And then I'm in the business of that as well. So I think with these both ideas, realize that no matter how big the next pandemic is going to be, I don't think it's going to be able to affect me. Why? Because in this business of this opportunity where people need the opportunity, and the business whereby it's health, I think, I mean, everyone here, they have their own opinions, but for my opinion, I realize that it might ride through even the future coming pandemic. So I'm quite happy actually, because I think what they mentioned earlier is actually I'm able to be earning this, be able to earn a 90K income in 1 year in this Amway business, because from what I see, actually now I'm still in NS, you know, I'm still in NS, right? So it's actually running automatically for me. So because I started the business when I was in Poly, when I was in Temasek Poly, you know, just now a lot of people say Temasek Poly. I was in Temasek Poly when I was 18 years old. So I started entrepreneurship. I started doing this business when I was 18 years old. And then through 3 years in the business, I really get the fruits of the labor, because I think despite having it part-time right now, and it's able to grow, you know. So I really see the merits of this business that can help me to go through even the next pandemic. I think it's very, very important.
Yeah, in fact, now I finally not answered Clara. Okay, but I think I finally will draw down some 重点. It is, I think, most likely what Ron have mentioned, everything. All in all, most likely the industry that may hold on in such crisis is, 重点 is it have to be an essential industry, essential product.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So, but if that's the case, there's a lot of people may argue, then I don't need to use Amway. I can go and choose NTUC. NTUC also sell essential product. They sell toilet paper. Then, or if not, Sheng-Siong. In fact, Sheng-Siong, it is all over in the news. The 老板 suddenly become a billionaire. I think I believe a lot of people know it. Then because they are in an essential business, but even if I want to partner with them, do I even have the chance to that? So I do not have such chance, but in this Amway business, I don't need such capital to partner with Amway. In fact, I also don't need to pay any rental costs. I also do not need to pay any employee salaries and any other overheads that is required in this Amway business.
Now I'm after you, Xiaopei.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to carry out, like, I want to leverage one of her points which she mentioned, which is rental cost. Like, I think right now, right, if I were an entrepreneur and I own a physical space, right, I think even before COVID, right, rental cost is an issue because it's capital, right? During COVID itself, right, the government just said that we cannot operate, which means that, right, does it mean that the landlord still don't collect rent from me? I still have to pay rent, but I cannot even open for sales. Then after that, some people will argue back. Then how about after COVID, you can actually gain back all your losses? No, seriously, like once CB period ends, right? After COVID, there will be this thing called social distancing. So if I own my own restaurant that maybe have like 10 tables, I'm very clear that I cannot actually get the profits of 10 tables worth of customers because of social distancing. I will know that I only can maybe 4 tables worth of customers, but I still pay the same rental cost. So this kind of fixed cost, right? I realized that you see, like Ron, he was mentioning, like he doesn't get affected in the Amway business. And I think now as an entrepreneur, right, not having to worry about rental costs is actually a huge burden off the load.
Yeah. 其实可以看到说呢，其实大家呢，很多人都是在慢慢的就是失去收入啊，就是工作的也面对危机，然后老板呢其实也是很大危机在这场疫情，所以呢，我不懂大家有没有听到很多人会讲说，哇，幸好我是打工的，幸好我不是当老板，因为老板会在这个疫情损失很多的钱。可是想说啊，其实打工的话呢，在这段期间可能我们可以很节省的用，都还 OK 没有问题。可是想说这个经济啊，不会再这么快呢就恢复啊，即使已经CB 已经过去了，可是我们的那个经济没有办法呢，就是一开始都恢复成我们一开始原来的样子，所以还是会有很多经济上的一个负担啊。所以尤其是 freelancer 会更没有工作，所以现在会看到很多人呢都在找机会，因为在想找一个机会呢，就是有什么样的机会是可以呢不会再被下一场的这个疫情给直接毁掉的。因为现在很多人呢辛辛苦苦建立的公司啊，就因为这样子的疫情呢就给毁了，可能就要关店啊，就好像 Ron 讲的，可能公司会不在呀。所以有看到一个点，有一个事业呢是现在反而更加赚钱了，很多人都在这个疫情然后改行，改成什么呢？大家有看到就是最近王雷在卖鱼，就是卖得很好嘛，对不对？所以很多人呢现在呢都把自己的生意呢都是往就是线上的一种生意，所以由此这样子来看的话呢，现在的趋势呢就在于线上的这种生意。所以我们其实90后啊00后，我们其实呢是在这样子的一个环境下长大的嘞。我们从小我们就是在小时候就有这些 technology， 所以我在想10年5年前其实这种technology 已经开始慢慢的进来了，可是它并没有突然很直接换成线上。可是因为这一场疫情呢，让我们见证到呢这个时代的转变呢。我突然在疫情当中，我看到整个时代都在改变呢。可能以前的老师是在课室教课的，可是现在呢，看到学生呢都是跟老师接触都是在 Zoom， 都是在网上，在线上，然后就看到很多生意呢，如果懂得把它搬去线上的话呢，他的生意就有办法继续经营。可是如果没有办法跟这时代在进步的话呢，如果还是传统这样子的话呢，就会亏损很多。所以现在做生意呢，不一定呢要有开店开门才算做生意啊。现在真正赚钱的生意呢，是在线上在网上可以做的，才会是接下来最好的一个时机。所以说今天我们全部人啊，在这个年代啊，可以见证到这个时代的改变啊。所以怎样 adapt 呢？就好像 Ron 讲的，生存下来的人呢，必须是可以适应这个环境改变的。以前的想法呢，或许适合之前的年代，可是现在的想法必须要改才能跟上现在年代，对吗？所以刚才有讲了 ，e-commerce 会是现在最好的一个事业、一个创业方式。这样如果 e-commerce 加上我们的 essential good， 就是就是必须要用到的一个用品， 这样是不是会更好呢？就是再加上就是以前说这样子，就是无论在什么时候我们都需要，即使下一个疫情来的时候，我们的 empire 已经是建立好了，会是一个一个很稳很好的一个事业，就有这一个保障在。因为刚才提到的工作，无论是 MNC， 无论是 SME， 无论是自己当老板的，都非常有面对到危机。可是保障很重要。如果我们可以呢找到一个事业呢是可以让我们有保障的话呢，这样我们肯定呢不会害怕下一次有什么样的大风大浪，我们都一定可以挨得过去。而我们年轻人呢，就是最适合做这个 e-commerce， 最适合就是最适合线上的一个生意。其他的 e-commerce 或许还是需要支付资金，可能 Shopee、Lazada 这些还是需要费用。可是我知道的是 MV 不需要。
Thank you, Hui Qi. I'm going to take it from here because I think we are close to 9 p.m. I just want to give a little bit of my own perspective. I think really this whole COVID-19 is an expose to a lot of businesses, meaning that, you know, a lot of businesses are, because of this period of time, they are forced to change the format. They are forced to, it exposes that their business model are unable to continue at this point in time. And we're seeing a lot of different new formats of running businesses coming up, like what Hui Qi mentioned. A lot of things are going online, but really what is key about this whole period of time is that whether it's essential. And I think there are things that we need to consider, that is that, you know, whether your company is able to survive this whole pandemic throughout, you know, maybe perhaps for the next 6 months or the next 1 year, and whether if your company is able to survive through this period, are you able to also keep, you know, your employment? Are you able to still maintain being able to earn an income in the next couple of months? So that's something that we need to think about, and that's something that, you know, perhaps what we want to cover today, and really want to sum up what we talked about tonight. We really want to bring across the point that it's all about entrepreneurship, and we want to give you good grounds to consider whether entrepreneurship is actually an alternative, good alternative means to your livelihood in comparison to, you know, conventional employment in Singapore. And we want to let you all know also in the second part, the real truth to entrepreneurship, meaning like today we really hear real difficulties and problems faced by, you know, Ron, Hui Qi, Xiao Pei, and Clara, and how they actually overcome them. And these problems, they are issues that you are going to face it one way or another, right? Entrepreneurship is neither too rosy as it seems, but it is not as tough as you think as well. And lastly, we discussed really the practicality of a digital platform business like Amway, and especially during this COVID situation, because of its essential nature that's able to carry on. And really, to me, one of the biggest value I see in the business is this essential nature. And to me, it is a venture that's worth considering, right? Okay, so now we are going to open up to our Q&A session. We're going to direct some of the questions that, you know, I received earlier, and I'm going to ask to some of the speakers. So, right, we have a lot of questions, but I'm going to start with perhaps this question from Kok Pang Lau, right? So he said, what do you think we young people should do to prepare ourselves to change that's happening right now? Because it's exactly relevant to what we talked about in the third segment. So any one of you can take it up.
I think I can take the question. Yeah. Actually, from my point of view, we're all young people, right? So from my point of view, what he mentioned, what he asked actually is to how do we prepare to face the future, which is the changes is going to come, right? I mean, the changes have to come no matter what. So I think first thing is we have to identify probably for him, what kind of changes we have to identify first. What kind of changes they're going to come? Because I believe, especially young people, probably you have a job already, or you don't have a job. Probably you're in NS now. Probably you're still schooling. You know, we have a lot of changes that's going to come to our job society. I mean, a lot of people, if you are ever consider being employed or entrepreneurship, there's a lot of things to prepare. So I think for myself, what I realized is very important is because now if I'm able to start preparing for the changes which is going to come, which I know that is you don't know what is going to come. You know, it is the future. You don't know if China is going to take over US as a superpower country. You don't know if India is going to overtake again. You don't know a lot of things. There's a lot of uncertainty. But I think there's one certainty that we all know, that I know, is that actually whatever I have now, it's already in the past. But whatever I'm going to have is in the future. So what I mentioned is actually what we say, our 学历 is 代表过去, which is whatever we have learned. Probably you have a degree. For me, I have a diploma in leisure events management. Probably that's in the past. But what I'm learning now, what I'm actually exposing myself into learning, that's the future. Because I believe despite reading books, despite attending seminars, all these things is going to nourish my brain and prepare for the future. So I think the best way to prepare is keep yourself involved. Keep yourself out there, bring yourself out there, expose to more people, and learn more things along the way. I think that's very, very important, including reading books as well. I think that's the advice everyone else who made it, like you know, all the mentors out there, they will give, because you really have to expose yourself. I think that's very, very important.
I hope that answers Dr. Hang's question. And actually, if anyone wants to voice out and ask a question, you know, you can do that too. But if not, okay, is there anyone that wants to ask any questions to the speakers? If not, I'll carry on with the chat questions. Okay, I'll go on with the next question that's posted by Wing Curry. And I think it's very relevant to the second segment on the difficulties. He asked, or rather, should I get rid of people in my life that does not support me doing business?
Maybe I'll take that question. The question sounds a bit scary though. Should
I get rid of people in my life that does not support me doing business? I think most of us face this as well, right?
So I think this is a personal challenge that I think everyone, be what you're doing, you will definitely face. Right, but I think there's this saying that is really very interesting. Called in Chinese, 一个成功的人，他不只是需要君子的鼓励，他也需要小人的刺激。So like we don't only need like the encouragement from the experienced people, but actually sometimes, right, why some people are successful, it's because they have 小人的刺激. So I think that don't have to get rid of these people, because I'm sure if you ask any successful people out there, I'm sure in that path, it is not everybody they meet, right, is very supportive of what they're doing. Like for example, maybe I name an example that maybe everybody will know, BTS. Right, when BTS actually started out as trainees, most of their parents are not supportive of what they're doing. But then like you cannot get rid of your parents, right? And sometimes you really have to think in our parents' perspective. Maybe they have their concerns as well. But instead of trying to get rid of them, you know, take this into heart and make sure that you really you are so afraid to fail, so that you want to prove them right. And I think recently one of my mentors, he actually shared with me, which I think this might be useful to you. Don't let people who don't matter affect the things that you are doing for the people who matter. Yeah, so like for me, I'm actually one of the reasons why I really want I really want to do my own business in entrepreneurship, because my parents they are not like, I mean, it's very, for out of all the 5 of us, right, 4 of them, they come from a family background where their parents are actually entrepreneurs. My parents are employees, so they don't have a lot of insights. They don't get to see the world, and sometimes I see them, right, they have so much white hair, they don't see much of the world. Sometimes I really just, although there are people along the way who will throw shit at me, but when I know that eventually this will be very fruitful for my parents, then I think that it's fine. But there will be such things. There will be naysayers, there will be rejections, there will be people who put you down. Yeah, but listen, I think anybody can give you comments, anybody can give you feedback, right? But listen to the people whom you want to exchange your life with, because this will be beneficial to you.
Thank you, Clara. Really, that was really good. And I hope it answered your question, Wing Curry. And I'll move on to the next question. This question posted by Wei Lin. So Wei Lin asks, does it require large amount of funds to have a startup?
I will take that question.
Yeah.
OK， 刚才就是我们有在我们的交谈当中呢，就有讨论到这一点嘛，就是其实有很多的这 这个创业呢，并不是需要很大很大的资金，而且现在呢，更重要的是一种不需要店面，或许不需要店面，然后不需要很多的员工，然后很多很多的东西，所以这些 startup cost 呢都可以变得减少很多。可是我觉得有一点很重要的呢，是一定要呢投资在自己的脑袋里面，投资学习很重要。为什么呢？因为在之前的时候啊，没有学习，我根本觉得自己什么都不能，就不懂要
你考学 A
可是学习过后呢，就会觉得说，哎，原来我可以向更好的人学习我可以就好像盖克拉讲的嘛，一定要有导师，一定要向成功的人学习，这样子我才可以一直跟上现在的一个时代，才可以呢，就是从或许成功几率小会变成成功几率大，所以伟林问的这个 style course， 我觉得是需要投资在脑袋很重要。
Okay. Thanks, Wei Qi. I hope this answers William's question. If you want to ask anything else, please go ahead and post in the chat, or you can even unmute yourself and ask our questions. And the next question I want to ask is posted by Presley. So Presley asked a very, very interesting question. Presley said, I started a small business selling airport casing. Is it a good start?
I would like to take that question.
Yeah.
How do I pronounce the Presley?
Presley.
First thing first, Presley, why I want to take this question is because I would like to give you a compliment because you have already done your first step. So it is actually, there is many ways to earn money and then no one can say that you really started good or you started bad. In fact, you are already way ahead than many people. So I really want to give you a clap. However, like I said, there is many different ways to earn money. If you are to look at, you are interested in technologies, you want to earn, you are interested in this, so you want to make some money out of it, then I think it is really fine. But however, if you were to look it in a wider perspective to say whether or not can this particular product can really earn you the money that you really want to earn. Again, this is if you are looking into a money point of view. So I think one thing that I find that for iPod casing, it can be, we may need to be very wary that it may be challenging because it is a technology. Technology is always always improving. So now that iPod is very popular, and a lot of young people want it but maybe one day it will not be as popular anymore, and then there goes our customer. Okay, and then another thing is who is our target audience. Like I said, it may be very popular to young people, right? But we will lose the whole bulk of older generation people. So I think the other than looking at this target audience thing, we need to, when we want to start business now, I will advise we need to look at the continuity of this business or whether or not it is sustainable. Like right now, I think during such crisis, I don't think airport is no longer as important as not as important as toilet paper. I think that is a very drastic difference That is a really drastic difference. But it is the, if we want to look at money, we have to look at what people need.
Thank you, Xiaopei. I hope that answers Presley your question. If you want to ask any other things, please raise it. The next question is by Gabriella. So Gabriella said, hi, I would like to ask, what if I have an idea of a business, but I'm lacking the knowledge about it? I have no connections to the people who are experts, or at least know how to transform my idea into a reality. And since I haven't found this kind of business idea in my country, okay, it's quite a long question, but Gabriella, which country are you actually in right now?
Gabriella?
Indonesia.
Oh,
okay.
I'm Indonesia. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Xiaopei is from Indonesia also. Okay, maybe I'll take that. I share a little bit about what I did last time before when I was in New York City. So actually, same as you, I have an idea of a business and I lacked the knowledge about it. So very, very bluntly put, I went there and I was looking at how people live their everyday lives. And I realized that when it rains, right, there will be push carts that comes out, and then people will be selling umbrellas for $5, $10, and then people will just buy them and use it for 1 or 2 times, and it breaks so easily. So that's really like the culture over there in New York City, whereby people don't carry umbrellas. And so, but being very naive, I wanted to go there and change it. So my business idea really is to do a very luxurious umbrella brand, a very strong one that's able to withstand all the winds and all the rain, torrential storms in New York City. And so I had that business idea, but I lack the knowledge about it. I have no connections. In fact, as a Singaporean and going over to New York City, I knew practically nobody. So how to transform that idea into a reality? I think really just go ahead and just go all out. Just go all out and think and do what you think is right, and then you figure things out along the way. Because what I did really was that, you know, I conceived this idea. Then the first thought that comes to mind is, now I need the umbrellas. Where do I get the inventory? I need to build a strong umbrella. Where can I manufacture it? And so that's something that I did. And I took 4 months to actually ship and design and engineer an umbrella from Shanghai all the way to New York. And then by the time when I started to want to sell, or rather wanted to market my things, everything was from scratch again, because how do I start marketing in a totally foreign country? Do I go Facebook? Do I go Instagram? Do I go YouTube? Do I go to Reddit? Do I go to the streets? Actually, I did that. I went to the streets. I passed my umbrella to people, and then I asked them, hey, what do you think of this? And if it's something that, they when they touched it, they're like, oh, it's kind of heavy. When they pressed it, they're like, oh, wow, it's such a great, strong umbrella. But, you know, would you buy it? You know, these are some of the things that I have no idea what to do. I have no connections on how to distribute it. But I just went ahead and do what I think is right. And at the end of the day, I think it's the experience that you get out of doing all these things that is able to help you make better decisions on the businesses going forward. And when you can do comparisons between striving it out on your own and understanding that, you know, there are businesses like the one that we're talking about today, like Amway, where people can actually help you. People have the experience to help you and guide you. It's a totally different ball game, and you'll realize how precious it is to have mentors guiding you. And really, whatever idea that you have right now, I say go ahead and do it. It's just like how Presley is starting a small business selling airport casing. It's an amazing start. Go ahead, continue with what you are doing. Make sure, you know, just go all out, and if, like what Ron said, focus on doing one thing right. And if you can really focus on thinking about all ways, because it's your business, you own it, think about all ways that you want to proliferate the business, how you want to make sure this business grows. It's all up to you. And then all the challenges comes in, like what everyone talked about, you know, all the challenges will come in, how you're going to overcome it, how you're going to face it. It's all problems of entrepreneurship that you are going to solve it on your own, and you're going to gain a lot of experience doing that. So really, I hope I answered your question on, you know, if you lack the idea, I mean, you have the idea, but you lack the knowledge, you lack the connections, how are you going to go about in doing it? Do what you think is the best, right? Go and search how to really market your business in whichever in Indonesia, for instance, it might be a different marketing tactic altogether from Singapore and from New York City. It's all different. So really go all out and do what you need to do in entrepreneurship. Yeah. And then I think maybe perhaps I want to pose one last question. I think by Christina, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
see Christina's question. I can help with that if it's useful.
Okay, yeah. Please go ahead, Farah. Also, I think we'll take this as a last question.
Okay. So I think, Christina, your question is about what are the criteria or conditions that you saw to decide that first I must thank you for giving us so much encouragement and love. And then your question is, what are the criteria or conditions that you saw to decide that this business is for you and you took the leap of faith to do it, right? So maybe I will speak from my own experience. It's because, like I mentioned earlier, actually one honest reason why I chose the Amway business is because I have no capital. Like my parents, they are not business owners, so we are a family of pure employees. So I know that if I want to do business out there, yes, we don't need capital to start, but I will need capital to fight the competition out there eventually. So I realized that in Amway, right, the barriers to entry is really very low. Like to join the business, it's just a basic $70 of membership, and the $70 we can also get to exchange for products that we can use. And I think what really made me took the leap of faith to really do the business is really that there is no real physical loss. Like in Amway, right, if you actually buy excess inventory, you can actually refund back to the company. If I were doing my own business outside, let's say I do my own blog shop, I cannot possibly tell like, oh, because it's COVID and I'm not having any sales, I take all the stocks that I bought and return back to the supplier. Not possible. But in Amway, right, if I actually buy excessive stocks, right, I can actually refund. So I realized that I really have nothing much to lose when I actually do this business. And it gives like a youngster like me who have no capital, no connection, and not even experience, that I can actually have a shot at this business. Because I know with my kind of background, it's very hard for me to actually have a business outside and also to sustain this business outside. Yeah, so I hope this is useful for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Clara. Thank you, Clara. I hope this answers, Christina, your question. And really, we hope you enjoyed the forum. If you have any other questions, please, just feel free to contact any one of us. And that's all we have tonight. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for joining.